Welcome back to Tetracan Super Monoblock, a channel about repairing and using multi-track cassette recorders. We're continuing our teardown here of a Tascam 464. I'll show you how everything here is removed in case you need to remove one of these yourself in order to do a repair. So let's take this apart. This big power cable comes out here. The way this ribbon cable works, that pulls up a little bit and then that allows us to lift that ribbon cable out. This ribbon cable can be detached. Oh look, there's an old bit of capstan belt. Put that in the bin. And we'll detach this power cable going to the power control for the transport. It looks like we've got 4 screws here. And those screws are going into plastic mounting posts, so they're of the wide ferrule type. This metal bar here is stabilising these 2 sockets, the left of which is headphone and the right of which is, just reminding myself, but that's remote stop-start switch. That's the control for that. That plate's just there to make it a bit less likely that we get broken solder at the base of these sockets from them being plugged and unplugged. Either side of those sockets we've got 2 more of these kind of blackish anodized wide ferrule screws. And additionally we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think they're wide ferrule screws as well, but they've just got this very wide head. I suppose that's just to make sure that that board's really held securely against the mounting posts. And in fact, I say this wide head, I think I won't bother to remove it, but I think you could, they're just giant washers. Oh, gassy. What am I missing? Something else is attaching here still. There's one more kind of galvanized screw here that's got this cable tidy on it. Okay. Oh, right, one more thing. We've got a kind of earth wire, and you know, I guess this metal plate is acting as earth for the whole circuit. Usually earth in a circuit where you don't have like a 3-pin cable where it's connected to the earth for the house. I mean, the earth for the house is basically going to be a metal pole going into the ground somewhere near your house. But a unit like this, some of the earlier machines like 244, 246, it would actually be the metal chassis into which a lot of stuff was set. But like this, probably the most significant lump of metal on the whole thing, so that's going to be your common ground point. You can see that earth cable went from that, and that had another kind of annex that was going from the metal casing of the transport to there. So should you need to resolder or desolder any of these components, or you know, if it's going to be easier signal tracing from that side of the board, then that's how you would get access to that. You can see that underneath we've got a bit of shielding there. That shielding is attached by this screw here to this heatsink plate, to which these 3 voltage regulators are attached. At least twice before there's been something up with one of these switches. There's nothing else supporting them apart from the solder holes that they're holding. Anyway, the solder underneath these gets broken easily. I don't really want to unseat these, and there'll be cement of the kind the heatsink on a CPU is attached to, holding these voltage regulators against this plate in addition to the tightness of these screws. I don't really want to disturb that, so I think probably the easiest way to do that is not unplug any of these voltage regulators, but I'll take up, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding that down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws holding that down. So if we take out all 9 screws, I can lift out this board and this heatsink as one unit. There's another screw underneath this bit of shielding that I missed. Okay, that's lifting out there. So here's the main input from the AC transformer into the power board. You'll often find that these tracks down here, there's actual physical breaks or dry joints. So that's how you'd get at that if you needed to desolder or resolder any of these components. I don't see a situation where you're going to have to remove this unless it's not working at all. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in there, and that would lift the whole thing out. Apart from actually desoldering components and these kind of things that I've demonstrated in other videos, and I may end up having to do in this unit anyway. I haven't done an electrical test on it yet. I'm just going to give it a clean and see where we are, but that's a pretty complete tear down for anything you need to do in terms of soldering, signal tracing and so on.